A quiet storm had gathered above the town like a forgotten sorrow. Clouds swirled across the night sky in slow, mournful procession, heavy with unshed rain. Thunder rolled not in bursts, but in long, distant grumbles, like a voice too tired to shout, still too broken to whisper. Inside the house on Wren Hollow Lane, the silence was heavier than the rain. Daniel stood in the darkened hallway, framed in amber by the faint glow of a hallway nightlight. In his hand, a half-empty mug of cold coffee trembled slightly, unnoticed. His eyes remained fixed, intently, anxiously, on the half-open door at the end of the corridor. It was Liam's room. His 7-year-old son, asleep by now, he hoped. But Liam was not asleep. Soft voices carried faintly from inside. Not loud. Not childlike giggling. A murmur. Like someone was deep in conversation. Only there was no one else in the room. Daniel edged closer, his bare feet soundless on the hardwood floor. He pressed one hand to the wall for balance, straining to hear through the crack in the door. Liam's voice, low and calm, "Will you stay until I fall asleep again? Like you used to?" A pause. Silence. Then Liam giggled. A small, warm sound that twisted Daniel's stomach into knots. "Okay, but sing the soft one." "The one with the stars," Liam whispered. "I like that one best." Daniel stepped back, his face pale. The mug slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor, ceramic shards flying like tiny white birds. He didn't even flinch. He was too stunned. Because that lullaby, the one with the stars, was one Emily used to sing when Liam was sick, or afraid of thunder. A lullaby she had written herself. One Daniel had never learned the lyrics to. One that hadn't been sung in nearly a year. Since the night Emily died. Emily. His wife. His partner. Liam's mother. A sudden heart condition took her on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon. She had gone to lie down, complaining of dizziness. Daniel went to check on her 20 minutes later and found her still, too still. The ambulance came, but the silence had already won. Liam never saw her again. For weeks, Daniel had kept the house running like a clock, structured, mechanical, a survival mechanism dressed as routine. He didn't cry. Didn't talk. Just functioned. But Liam had changed. He stopped sleeping in his own bed until Daniel promised to leave the chair in place, the old wooden one with the blue cushion. Emily's chair. The one she always sat in while reading bedtime stories. The one that still held a faint imprint of her presence. And then, one night, Daniel noticed Liam talking to it. He chalked it up to grief. To imagination. Kids find ways to cope. It was normal. It had to be. Until the details started becoming too specific. One morning over cereal, Liam said with quiet certainty, "Mom says she misses her garden." Daniel's spoon stopped midway to his mouth. No one had mentioned Emily's garden. She used to tend to it every Sunday. Roses and mint. But it had become overgrown since she passed. "Did you dream that?" Daniel asked gently. Liam shook his head. "She was sitting in the chair last night. She told me the mint plant misses her, too." Daniel's stomach sank. 3 nights later, Liam handed him a drawing. A child in bed. A woman sitting on a chair beside him. Her hands hovered over his head like a blessing. Her eyes were closed, but she was smiling. Her hair looked exactly like Emily's, loose, long, and softly curled. At the bottom, in Liam's uneven writing, were the words. "Thank you for staying with me." That night, Daniel sat outside the room, trembling. The clock struck 9:30 p.m. Inside, he heard Liam's voice, "Don't go yet. Dad's still sad. I think he cries in the kitchen sometimes." Daniel clutched the wall, breath caught in his throat. He did cry in the kitchen. Late at night. With the tap running, so Liam wouldn't hear. How could Liam know? The next morning, Daniel drove to the electronics store and bought a compact infrared night camera. He didn't tell Liam. Didn't want to scare him. He simply mounted it in the far corner of the room, angled perfectly toward the bed and the chair. That night, he stayed awake in the living room, the laptop open beside him. The video feed flickered in grayscale. 9:18 p.m., Liam crawled under the covers. Looked at the chair. 9:25, he began whispering. Smiling. He nodded as if listening. And then, 9:47. The screen shook. Not violently. Just a subtle, low pulse of static. Then the grayscale darkened. A faint light began to pulse around the chair, just barely visible. Then, movement. From the chair's center, a figure began to take shape. Not a full body. Not in color. But the outline of a woman, long hair, gentle posture. A hand extended. Her fingers hovered above Liam's forehead, not touching, but close. Protective. The air around her shimmered like summer heat on pavement. And then, gone. Just like that. Daniel stared at the screen, lips parted, his body locked in stillness. His hands trembled, chest tight. He replayed the clip again. And again. It wasn't a trick of light. It wasn't camera error. It was her. Emily. The next day, he tried to ask Liam directly. When Mom talks to you, what does she say about me? Liam didn't even look up from his toy truck. She says you're trying so hard to be strong that you forgot how to feel. She says it's okay to miss her out loud. Daniel swallowed hard. That night, he entered Liam's room for the first time in months. The soft nightlight bathed the room in a warm, amber hue. He sat on the chair. It groaned beneath him. It was a familiar sound. A memory that echoed across a divide. He sat still for a long time, listening. Then he whispered, "I miss you, Em. I'm so sorry for the things I never said. I didn't know how to be a father without you. I didn't know how to be anything without you." His voice cracked. He wiped his face with his sleeve. Then, a breeze. No windows were open. But the curtains lifted gently, like someone had just passed through. And beneath it, the soft scent of lavender and vanilla. Her scent. The same she wore when he proposed. When they brought Liam home from a hospital. The one Daniel had packed away with her things and hadn't smelled in nearly a year. He looked toward the chair's empty cushion. He wasn't alone. The glow never returned on the camera after that night. Liam stopped speaking to the chair. But his drawings changed, brighter colors, new characters, smiles. Daniel planted new flowers in Emily's garden. Mint and red roses. He started singing again. Not well, but with feeling. And the photo of Emily, long hidden in the back of a drawer, now stood proudly on the mantel. Not because it hurt less. But because the pain had somewhere to go. If this story found a place in your heart, even for a moment, please like, comment, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Because stories like these aren't just tales, they are echoes of our own hearts. And maybe, just maybe, you or someone watching needed this reminder: love doesn't end with goodbye. On Liam's next birthday, Daniel placed a small velvet box on the old chair. Inside was Emily's favorite locket, still holding a photo of all three of them. Along with a note. Asterisk, you stayed with him when I couldn't. Thank you. You can rest now. We'll be okay. As Daniel turned to leave, the floor creaked once behind him. Just one soft, wooden groan. Like the sound of someone finally rising to go. Or maybe finally letting go.